Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The infamous Anan.
Hello, hello.
Pull your mic up, bro.
Hello, hello.
So Anan and I met. He responded to my Facebook ads. Needed some help with some management. He's just kind of overwhelmed right now, and it was very serendipitous because he lives in Cleveland, and I had to be in Cleveland, which is where we're at right now, and it just worked out. Now we became friends, and we're talking, and hanging out, and yeah. So, anyways, I wanted to have you on because you got a really good story, and it's all came through fruition in the past couple years.
Yeah.
So, just very quick overview of it and let you jump into it. But you've went from zero to $18 million in real estate holdings in 3 years.
3.5 years, yeah.
3.5 years. You moved over from Israel, right? And
Correct.
someone lied to you and told you that Cleveland's the most beautiful city in all of US.
Yeah, Google.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to Cleveland. This is it. This is the spot.
Exactly, that's a spot.
Yeah. So, anyways, okay. So before you came to the U.S., what were you doing before you came to the U.S.?
I just graduated from college and I did my internship in KPMG as a CPA. I worked for a CPA for 2 years. Did bank accounting and auditing, did some real estate accounting and auditing. Finished my 2 years and just hopped on a plane and landed in Cleveland.
So you didn't have anything tying you down back in Israel?
So nothing really, because I finished my 2 years and got my license. That the only thing you need to do is have 2 years in internship after you finish college. And then once I got my license, I was just, it's not for me. Let me go do real estate.
Yeah. So did you have an idea what you wanted to do, or you were just like, I'm going to figure it out and be around?
Oh
people?
yeah, definitely. I was always looked into real estate and I always knew that that's the thing I wanted to do. I mean, even back in Israel, did a little bit of real estate. I mean, it's unscalable in Israel.
Yeah, you would tell me about that. Yeah, they were charged so much on taxes. They
Correct.
Really
So in Israel, they will charge you on your second deal. There will be an additional 8% of taxes on each property that you buying. So if it's the second, third, fourth, and then the taxes are just ridiculous. I mean, when you go in and trying to sell, taxes it's double the tax that what you're gonna pay here in the States. So it just makes sense for me where I really wanted to scale that business, and I just looked for somewhere else, and I think the States were the bingo for me.
Yeah. And so, okay, so Israel, it's not Tel Aviv. That's not where you're from. Where's that?
Well, I grew up 10 minutes from Tel Aviv, but Tel Aviv was kind of my second town.
Yeah.
It's where my friends were living, my clothes were living.
Yeah. I've never been to Tel Aviv, but I've always heard it's the most beautiful place in the world. And I only say that to say, well, how did you decide on Cleveland?
Wait, so being in Tel Aviv and living in Tel Aviv, it's a dream. It's the weather is just fabulous. I mean, it's like 90 all year long. Not all year long, but I would say about 8 months of the year. You're just by the beach. People are awesome, and food is great. It's perfect atmosphere. I mean, something was missing for me on the business side. I just looking to scale my real estate business, and I just couldn't do it over there. So, I mean, just hopped on a plane, came to Cleveland, and here we are.
Yeah. So you didn't know anybody here in Cleveland?
I did not, no, I didn't. I just came over, I landed, I'd start contacting people that I knew through Bigger Pockets or other real estate forums. And I was like, hey, I saw you've been active there and there. I mean, let's chat, let's meet. I knew some other people that were doing business and real estate over here, other investor. I reach out to them and start networking, and
Yeah.
yeah.
So then after all the people that you met, you decided that buying, renovating, and flipping, well, you don't really flip, you hold, but
Right. So I didn't really knew what's gonna be. So I landed in Cleveland on January 2021, and I was kind of trying to find my way. So I knew nothing about real estate in the States. Nothing is even close to be like it is back in Israel. Everything is different. The transactions are being made different. The properties are built different. So I was just looking around, checking properties, getting into many houses as I can, putting offers on. I think I lost 30 or 40 offers for my first 3 months. I didn't got anything, and I kept putting offers in, and everything was like, it's like everyone bit me, like, and until the first one, cash was like 3 months after, and it just start rolling. I mean, the next property and the next property and the next property, and from singles to multifamily and to multifamily to buildings, and it just escalated.
Yeah. So okay, so what was your first one? What is that? Is that one of the Airbnbs that you have now?
No, actually, it's a single family house in Lakewood, Ohio. It's a 5-bedroom house that's still rented to 5 college students. Perfect investments. I think I bought it for 127. It's been rented for 1,900 for the past 3 years. Very like easy going, like long-term rental.
Yeah.
Not an Airbnb. Definitely thought about putting it on Airbnb, but I had my business on the side and had all this drama on the side. So I was like, whatever, give me this like peace of mind. All those properties that I have peace of mind of, I don't want to touch them until I actually need to.
Right. Okay. So you did that. So when did you decide to turn them into short-term rentals?
So I started scaling about a year and a half after. I think I got into multifamily buildings investing, and my first building was a 24 unit. I bought it vacant. I had to put a lot of money into it just to renovate it.
How much?
I think I put almost $500,000 in. It's in Tremont. It's in Tremont in Cleveland. Whoever familiar with Cleveland will know that Tremont is it's a nice place to either live, or I mean it's a very chic and young place. I put $500,000 in, renovate the entire place, and I was like, had 24 apartments going on the market, and I had hard time leasing them. I was like, I leased 12 units, and then the other 12 were like dragging feet. Nothing was actually moving. And I was like, okay, I have to do something. Like this is not what I signed up for. I didn't work so hard and put so much money for 12 apartments, like 50% of occupancy.
Yeah.
So I came with the idea to why not just trying to put 2 units on Airbnb. You know, they just pick some 2 units, put them on Airbnb. I ordered those 300, 400 sofas from Walmart, put them in, go hang a couple TVs, some pictures, took some photos, put it on Airbnb. And I was like, it looks terrible today.
Yeah.
But back then I was like, awesome, that looks amazing for me, right? And bookings started getting in, and I was like, what? No way. Did I just tripled my rent on the same unit? And it just, I decided to put another one and another one and another one. Everything just scaled. And here we are. I mean, we are about to be with 30 units by the end of the year on Airbnb. So it's kind of
So when was that? What year? That was late 21 or 22 when you put your first one on?
I put my first Airbnb, I think it was on November 22. So approximately 2 years after I came here.
Yeah. What? So now everything you're doing is turned into short-term rentals?
Not really, because I mean, you know, I do believe in the long-term game in real estate. But on the other side, well, it's 2 different investments, right? Because you got this long-term investments of those buildings that you buying, renovating, putting those long-term tenants in. And it might sometimes even work better than Airbnb. There are some spots where people are not traveling a lot. And then on the other hand, where are more like good locations or very close to downtown or sports stadium, where the unit can benefit a lot on Airbnb. And you can roll more, get more revenue on putting on Airbnb. And I think that splitting the business between Airbnb and long term, it's an ideal for me right now.
So the short term is just really I don't say it's a backup plan, but you always have that in your back pocket if all else fails, right?
Right. So actually, the backup plan is, yes, it's converting everything to an Airbnb, but I don't know how scalable it is to have 200 units in the same city.
Right.
So this is something that we need to be very cautious about.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of stuff you can do,
Right.
but you're out there just battling every day, sending check-in details.
Yeah, man.
I don't know
So
how you're doing it because you're doing all the flipping, the renovations, managing all that. You have how many projects going on right now?
uh 12
12 projects, and
yeah.
there's big projects too.
Right.
And you're doing that, and you're sending check-in details to guests, handling
Yeah.
messages back. Like, I don't know how you're doing it, honestly. I literally don't know how
I
you're
don't know
doing
how to do it. I don't know how to do it, to be
it.
honest.
But a lot of yours, so you want to get more more midterm stays, like 2-3 months at a time, right?
Well, so here it is. So I wanted to get those midterm because it require less attention. And one of the reason I approached you and I was like, hey, JD, I need your help is because I couldn't reply to all those messages on Airbnb, and I couldn't like perform the way that a host should perform on Airbnb and reply to all those like guests checking in and checking out. So I think that where we been? Sorry. So bringing it up to you and telling you that, yo, take it from here and handle it. It's what can we edit this place?
No, you're good.
Yeah.
It's all good. Yeah. No, it's for one, if you just have to do that many by yourself, it's a lot. But couple that with everything else you're doing, it's like, hey, hats off to you, bro. I mean, you're doing the damn thing.
Yeah, man, it's not easy. I mean, to deal with all this, having it on the other hand, to manage 170 tenants, it's
Yeah. Well, you're the ones that I've been to and I've seen and talking to you. You're going all out. Like what you're putting into them, how you're renovating them. They look really good.
Yeah.
You're talking about putting basketball courts in, pickleball courts. They're going to be really nice when you're done.
Yeah, we met the other day, and then I showed you some units. It's honestly, it wasn't my ideas to go and put this basketball courts or pickleball courts, but I think that as an expert, to bring your view from the Airbnb business into the short-term rental that we have over here and give them those ideas were awesome.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how we're gonna benefit out of it. I mean, how much revenue we're gonna drive out of it?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a lot. Can't put the hot tubs in though. So.
Oh, I hope so. We're still working on this one. Still doubting this idea.
Okay, so let's back up some. So so how long when you landed here in Cleveland, you didn't know anybody, so you got a place. Were you working somewhere, or are you just living off your savings from Israel, or what were you doing?
So I saved some money in Israel. I had some savings. I worked a lot in Israel, and I came over here, and I was like, cool. I just had an Airbnb for like 2 weeks. I rented a spot on the east side of Cleveland, and I rented a car. I started traveling, started looking around, checked some properties, and I was like, yo, I need to know people. Like, I don't know anyone's in here. Like, I don't know no friends, no real estate investor, no one. The only thing I know is some bigger pockets people that, I mean, it was gonna be hard to reach out to them.
Mm-hmm. Like you're talking about the people that are on Bigger Pockets.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, they were like actually active doing deals, writing posts on Bigger Pockets, and like talking about Cleveland in general. Because this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to connect with people in Cleveland. And then I got into our roommates group in Lakewood, met some two friends, rented a room with them. We actually rented a house. I was in one of the rooms. I've been there for 3 months. I just kind of decided it's not for me. And then I moved to an apartment in downtown Cleveland, lived there, and then just started doing business.
So randomly just started reaching out to people after you got here, making friends, and then you finally get your first deal. Like, how did you know where to even start at? Just like listen to Bigger Pockets, doing your research? Because I remember I was talking about this yesterday. You were explaining all this stuff to me. I was like, well, how do you know all this? You have to take a test? And you're like, no, just did it. And then I got in trouble, and then I didn't do it again.
Right. So, yeah. So I honestly didn't know anything. All those building codes that you need to know, especially if you take in on bigger projects like the ones I showed, and the ones we walked through. I just hired some people that did the work. I followed them. I watched them work. I discussed a lot of architect and inspectors during all those inspection or walking through properties and failing so many inspections until you actually know the code
Yeah.
and you know exactly what you need to put your finger on and and watch your workers do whatever they need to do.
So it's just hands on, just getting in it, hands on. And then, have you lost any money on any deals?
I truly didn't lost any money on any deals. No.
So is that
Yeah.
because you buy so well, or is it just you're managing the money and all the crews so tightly, or?
So I think it's all about so there's a couple of factors, right? I mean, if you're getting into a bad deal, but then you can cover it on the cost of repairs, then you're kind of good. But if both are working well together, like if you're buying right, and then you're operational it's very well, even if it's like management operation or either construction operation, then you're gonna be fine. But I think the key for every successful deal is the buying point. Because if you buy right, and even if you do a mistake later, then you're most likely not gonna lose. You're just gonna not earn it as you expected to earn.
Yeah, because something always pops up no matter what, right?
Always,
Like-
always.
Like what just happened at your place the other day.
Right? Yeah.
You want to explain what happened?
Yeah. We me and JD walked a 5-unit just by downtown Cleveland. I mean, that will make people afraid of investing in Cleveland. I don't know how good it is. So we just walked a 5-unit. We were about to list it on Airbnb. We already have furniture then. The place was beautiful, right?
Mm-hmm.
You walked in and said, this is awesome. Put that hot tub over here, do a pickable cord in the back.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, that's good ideas. Let's do it. And then 2 days after, we had all the ACs stolen, and we're all about $10,000 to $12,000 short. Yeah, it wasn't fun.
Yeah. Well, the worst part was you think it was probably somebody that could be working for you, right?
Right, and that's the worst part. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
Right, you never know. You can just always suspect people, but
Okay, so let me back up again. How did you have money to fund all these things, all these deals?
can we turn on the AC a little bit?
Larry?
Oh, it's on.
Yeah.
So want to repeat that?
How did you have money to fund all these deals? Where did you find the money from? How did you get funding?
So I didn't came with a lot of money. I mean, when I first came here, I had some savings, and I had some like leftover from some investment I did back then. I think I had enough for one house, and it's like 100,000, 150,000 or something. I came over and rolled this money into this property that I bought, rented out. Went ahead, did some good investments with stocks in 2020. Pulled this money out during COVID. I mean, everyone did money on the stock market on COVID, right?
Yeah.
Pulled this money out, put it into properties in 2021, and then I got kind of an addicted into like doing deals. So even though I haven't had the money, I just raised it. Like I ended up raising it from a family member, or either rolling money from another refi, and it just rolled from a deal to a deal with a bigger equity, and then everything just with the right financing, everything just grew up so fast.
So for the most part, it's all hard money from yourself. It's home money that you saved, and then you just invested it wisely, pulled some, got some. Okay.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have some partners on a couple of deals. We have some financing on a couple of deals.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started with some my own money and some family money.
So is it easier to get your family to invest now that you've been successful and haven't lost anything?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've been here a couple of times. They see the operation, they see the deals, they see whatever going on.
Yeah.
They always tell me you're doing too much. I mean, you got to stop and don't buy everything that you see.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me be, let me do my thing. I know what I'm doing. And then, yeah.
So whenever your ACs get stolen, how's that phone call go with your investors? Or do you even tell them about it?
Well, actually, on this house, I didn't have any investors, but I mean, if I will have an investors on this house, then it will hurt me more than it will hurt him, right? Because I kind of have some responsibility for his investments, right? So if someone is putting his money into one of our properties that we operate and manage, and then something happened, then you kind of dig down into the point that could I prevent it from happening? So we always we're trying to recover the cost of the loss, and as much as we can as an investor or as the property manager. But I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, a loss is a loss, and I mean, there's like multiple ways to look at it, and you just need to recover and keep going.
So when was the first big loss that you had that you were like, I was not expecting this shit?
It was perfect, thank you. It was okay, so I bought a 26 unit building completely vacant in Lakewood, Ohio. We got into the deal, I think we estimated somewhere around a couple hundreds for repairs, a couple 100,000 for repairs for the entire buildings. And we got in, and then throughout the demo process, the demolition process, we came across things that we couldn't keep, like the plumbing and some HVAC problems that we had over there. And I think we had ended up rolling another bill of between 200 to 250,000 of extra costs on just like materials costs, like construction costs.
Wow. So now, if you were to buy that deal now, would you?
It was actually a little bit even more.
It was more than that?
Yeah.
Would you be able to avoid that if you bought that same property now, knowing what you know?
100%. Yeah, 100%. I think the more you do and the more things you're coming across, your vision is changing. And you kind of look on, because on the end of the day, when you take over those projects and then you bind those vacant buildings, by the way, we have some Airbnbs over there. So when you bind those vacant buildings and renovate them, this renovating process, this is a rent that can be collected if you bought this building occupied. So today, when we dig down into those projects and we like comparing them into like occupied buildings, I will definitely still take the project, but it's just a numbers game at the end of the day.
So you're saying you would much rather have an occupied building because you have cash coming in with rents?
Correct. Yeah. I will definitely. Well, it all depends on what's your position in the business, right? If you're a developer and you know to take over bigger projects, then that's your specialty. Like you're getting into the point that you can benefit out of like buying a property of 50%, but not a lot of people can bring it into the point where it operate.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be very dangerous, and on the other side, you can have a lot of profit out of it.
What's the biggest building you have? How many units?
The biggest one is 48 units.
And that's in Lakewood?
This one is in Cleveland.
In Cleveland.
Yeah.
Wait, Lakewood and Cleveland aren't the same thing?
No, so Lakewood is a city, and then Cleveland is a city. So the city of Lakewood is they're sharing the same border, but it's not the same city.
Okay. So what did you have to do with that one, with the 48?
Actually, we bought it occupied. We bought it, I think, 70% occupancy. We put some money into it, renovated a couple of the units, started renting it out, and just kept it as the long term. That we didn't do Airbnb over there. We always thought about doing it, but this one was in my first year, so I wasn't really into the Airbnb business.
Yeah. What? So when you buy a building like that, you're going to keep everything long term. What are you looking at to increase value, or you can increase rents? Is it just renovating the units, or is it renovating like the common spaces?
So you do anything you can to bring the rent up, right? I mean, in the end of the day, you want to get as much dollars as you can out of the space you're renting. So if it's cost efficient and we can renovate the hallways and doing the apartments in a matter where we can bring more revenue in and justify it and the amount of construction, then definitely we'll put all the necessary money into it just to get this revenue up.
So what are those things though that drive revenue? Like we were talking about with short-term rentals, I was telling you having those pickleball courts, the basketball, hot tubs, that drives revenue. Like what's that one thing with long-term apartments or rentals that if you put this in, you do this, it'll drive revenue?
I think that in the long-term business, you have to be very cautious, right? You have to know exactly where you're working at. I mean, if you're buying a complex of apartments, then maybe a paint and a new cabinets will do the work for an additional 200, right? It's all about the customer in the end of the day. So whoever your tenant is gonna be, then maybe an apartment complex that's like where the rent is not higher than 1,000, some paint, flooring, and new kitchens will do the work. And then when you like go into those nice houses in Lakewood, maybe there's just paint and flooring won't do the work. So it's all about who are you dealing with and who's gonna pay, who's gonna be your customer in the back end.
So is that something that you could teach somebody else, or is it just like a feeling that you get?
Oh, definitely, man. All those things that I know today is throughout the business and the progress we did the past couple of years. I mean, I didn't even knew what I'm doing back then.
Yeah.
So I mean, we put just like extra money into those apartments, that do like high, nice quartz countertops, and maybe like today I was looking at it and I'll say maybe it wasn't worth it.
It wasn't.
So amazing. So I did a mistake, right?
Yeah.
But so we always like changing things and making things work differently than they were.
Yeah. I can't believe you just dove straight in. Like you just like, I'll figure it out. We're gonna start renovating, tearing shit down.
Yeah, because I mean, in the end of the
Are
day,
you a handy guy? Like, have you grown up like being handy, building stuff, working on things?
No, not at all. Actually, I didn't. My dad was always telling me, "Hey, yo, like, go do some yard work for me," and I was like, "No, I won't do it." And he will pay me for doing it.
Yeah.
So I wasn't like the guy that will go hold a drill, start building things or things like that. But even in those apartment investing, I mean, you don't have to be the guy that actually doing the work, right? At the end of the day, it's just an investment. So if you hire the right people and you put the right things in, then that should work out.
Yeah. You just got to know what people are supposed to do and hold them accountable, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So how long and again, I don't know if this is an actual question, but how long does it take for you to complete? Do you have a goal in mind, like a time limit to complete each project? I know they all vary in size, numbers, and all that. But like the one we were at yesterday, that's going to be 4 different units or 3 different units?
That's going to be 3 different units.
Yeah. How long is that from when you bought it to when you're going to be able to list those on Airbnb?
So we probably need about 3 months of construction. So let's just let the viewers know that this one was a rough project, right? We did almost anything in a building other than just tearing down the shed. We did the roofing, plumbing, electrical, HVAC. Everything is brand new over there, so we had to open some of the walls and redo it. We even like took some walls down and did LVL beams. So it's a major project, right? Not everyone can do it. So typically this is a 3 months project, start to finish. I would say more light cosmetic rehabs will probably be around 30 days for anyone else.
So wait, it's taking you longer or less time?
No, it's taking me longer to do this project.
Why is that? Because of
the fact that you need to bring in way more construction into the house, right? Everyone needs to work in a certain time. They cannot work together. So every time that the electrician is finished, then the plumbing guy is getting in, then the HVAC guy is coming in, then you cannot close the walls until everything is inspected.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's a time frame that you need to go step by step until you're getting to the point where, all right, it's like a home run. Let's close everything. Let's put everything. Let's list everything.
Yeah. All right. So switch it back to Airbnbs. So when are you going to stop with the Airbnbs? You'll be at 30 by the end of this month. So when are you going to say, all right, we got enough short-term rentals, or are you going to are you just going to start getting into other cities, or are you if it's not working in Cleveland, you're not going to do it?
No, I truly believe in Airbnb. I did some great payouts the past year. So I think that's gonna work for me here in Cleveland. I don't think I'm gonna stop.
Well, you said earlier that like you don't really see having 200 in one city though, right? That's what you said.
200 properties in one city. Well, in the point of where I am right now, I don't want to have it. Right, I'm like kind of like I have 30, almost 30, and I kind of feeling that I can't do it anymore. It's like way too much for me. But I think when we do have the right team in place, then it's nothing. I mean, it's just in the end of the day, it's just like it's kind of an automatic system, right? Whenever a guest checks out, the cleaning has is casual. If everything is missing, she's the kind of a boots on the ground. She see what's going on in the properties, and then if she's reporting anything, then just go back to maintenance. So there's not really like if you build the right team around it, then it's just it doesn't even matter if it's 30, 100, or 200. But I think at a point where I am right now, scaling up to 200, it's too much for me.
So it's not more so is are they going to be profitable in your market? It's more I don't have the bandwidth to do. I don't have the team in place to manage it.
Exactly, and this is what one of the reasons why I reached out to you and I told you, hey JD, I need your help, man. Like I don't know how to operate it. I'm like, I don't like to text Zeuscast on like midnight. I'm not sure if I want to like dump all my like listening to you and let you manage it. And then I mean we jumped on a call and
yeah. All right, let's hear your worst Airbnb story.
wow.
Well, actually, I'll let you sit on that one.
All right.
To go back, so if you could go back to when you're building your Airbnbs and put because I know you were saying, we built the skyscraper too high and without the foundation. So like, what if you could go back? What would you put in place to that would help you out right now to manage all yours?
I think that I will hold back on some new project that I took and then some new listing that I bought to put on Airbnb, just for me to build the right team around it. Having the right either cleaning team or either guest communication or having the right system to manage all of it. And then let me scale my way instead of, hey, I have to finish this project, and then on the other and on my back end, as those guests texting me on check-in instruction, and then damn, this bubble doesn't work, and I'm doing like $1 million project down here, and this guest texting me about his bathroom sinks doesn't drain or things like that, and I was like I should stop for a minute. I should like take a break, build the right team around it, then keep going. Because I mean, Airbnb in the end of the game is way profitable in the long term, right? So,
so what do you do to make sure yours are profitable? Why are yours more profitable than most? Why do you do so well on Airbnb, and a lot of people, generally speaking, are struggling to get bookings?
Well, that's a good thing. I think once you dig down into what's getting this clickbait on the listing, or you operate and putting the right pricing in place and you manage the pricing well by the either events that are happening in the city and by the low seasons, then I think you're going to be all fine. Also, well, any end of the day, it's just about your listing, right? I mean, it has to look good, it has to be well, professionally, will take professional photos and have the right furnitures in place, and
Professional photos, dog. Professional photos. It's what, $200 a listing?
Right.
Just spend the money. Like that. Spend the money, man.
Yeah.
I hate when people don't do it. It's so annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm coming, I'm like looking for other listing, and I'm seeing those listing without professional phone. And I was like, I actually seen some reviews on it. I was like, how are you doing it?
Yeah. We've had, just very quick, but we had a unit that really nice unit in Miami. I spent $200 on photos, and within the next like 3 weeks, we got like $15,000 in bookings for them. Like,
damn,
it's so simple, you know what I mean? And I mean, he's a smart dude too. He's a big business guy. He owns a lot of real estate, buys apartment buildings in Miami. But it was just so funny. It's just like, dude, just get photos. Like, it's ridiculous. So you are you not doing any pricing software or anything? You're
I
just
do.
doing
I use PriceLab.
Price Labs.
Yeah.
And have you had experience with anything else other than Price Labs?
No, I didn't.
No.
Yeah, I just dipped down into PriceLabs. I knew that at some point where I'll have those listing up and running, I'll dig down into more of the software and actually all those software around it that can help them manage it. And
How do you do? You do minimum night stays, 2 nights, 3 nights, 7 nights.
I do 2 nights. I do 2 nights. Yeah, I don't like those one night stays.
You'll never do 1 night.
I would do one night, maybe between bookings, but I just think that I think you're targeting the wrong people with one night.
Yeah.
I mean, down here in Cleveland, I mean, back in those nice cabins and I mean, those big houses down there, wherever it is, it's my work better. But over here, we're not in the $400 or $500 a night. So the moment you have the $100, $200 entry fee for a listing, then it just doesn't work to do the business.
Yeah. Okay. So, what was your worst, most memorable Airbnb experience?
All right, so we have an automated message system, right, through our Airbnb. I mean, every time a guest putting a bookings in, he's getting a check-in instruction is being sent to him. There's nobody actually need to text the guest after he put the bookings in.
Mm-hmm.
So we had an issue with our automated message system, and the guest didn't got his check-in instruction. So we went over, sent him check-in instruction. There were actually check-in instructions to a different unit in the building he was supposed to stay in.
Oh, because you got the apartment building.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it wasn't an apartment building. He wrongly checked into a unit that was a guest in, got into the bathroom, found out naked, whatever it is. And then
Somebody was naked in the bathroom.
yeah,
He walked in on him.
yeah.
Oh shit.
And we heard about it. We apologized for the gas. I mean, obviously we refund them, but yeah, that wasn't a fun story to.
Who was more mad, the person that got walked in on, or the person that walked in on him?
Actually, the person that got checked into the wrong unit.
He was mad.
Yeah,
So it must have been a dude.
yeah.
That's funny. God, that's not that bad though. I mean, that's a mix-up. It's gonna happen. I'm sure that
Yeah,
happens
nothing-
more times than not.
I mean, yeah, probably. I mean, nothing really bad other than there's like problems throughout like the operation of
Yeah.
like, check in and check out.
What's your biggest unit? That unit that sleeps the most people?
We have about 7 or 8.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they're relatively small then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not 16 or 17 people. They're not these like 4 or 5 bedrooms houses. So the largest ones we have are I think 7 people.
In Cleveland, do you find there are better pockets for short-term rentals, better areas, or
Yeah, definitely. I would say that anywhere around downtown Cleveland and the nicest areas, if it's Ohio City, Tremont, or Lakewood, you will perform better than other areas in Cleveland. But then on the other hand, we have the Cleveland Clinic down here in Cleveland, which is on the east side, and it's a big hospital, and it's bringing a lot of traffic into the city. So all around the Cleveland Clinic will be definitely a good spot too.
how far is too far out? So let's say got a place in Newburgh Heights. Is that too far out?
I would say you just by the highway, so right, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I were new Cleveland, it might not be the place I would be in.
About Brooklyn.
Getting closer.
That's
Definitely getting closer. Definitely a good spot. Yeah.
That's a good spot. Okay. And Lakewood's a good spot, obviously.
Lakewood's an awesome spot. Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? Is that what the Cleveland Clinic is in Lakewood?
No, so Cleveland Clinic is on the east side, just kind of from Midtown, between Midtown to East, just by Little Italy.
Little Italy?
Yeah.
Every city's got a Little Italy. You look like you're from Italy. I get it too, though. I get a Little Italy all the time. I went to Spain, and I had a bunch of people. Well, I went to running of the Bulls, and I had a bunch of people walk up to me, like Americans, can you take picture? I was like, you want me to take your picture, man? Because they thought I was, I was Spanish. I blended right in. Yeah, that's funny. Well, that's cool. So, do you have any plans of venturing out of Cleveland to invest, or there's just so much here, so much opportunity? You got.
Yeah, I think Cleveland is a great spot. I think I told that to you a couple of days ago. Man, Cleveland is so underrated. People talk so much shit on Cleveland, and it's not right. It's truly not right. It's a great spot to be. It's a great spot to live in. Well, sometimes weather is not the best, but I mean, it is what it is, right? We're in the Midwest. I think there is a lot of real estate opportunities down here in Cleveland that I personally couldn't find. I won't say anywhere else, guys, because there's opportunities anywhere, but the amount of opportunities, I will call it, and the fact that we can like escalate and scale it to a business where we can keep the opportunities coming. I think that what makes me like choose Cleveland and wanted to stay here.
That's what Alex was saying last night at dinner. You're one of your realtors, or your realtor. I mean, the cost of investments here compared to literally anywhere else,
Right.
is just it's barrier to entry so little,
Correct.
So okay, so what's the hardest part about what you do? Acquisition, is that really the hardest part? And where do you find most of your deals? Are they all on market, off market?
No, most of our deals are coming off market. We one of out of, I would say about 30, 40 properties are maybe two are on the market, two or three were on the market. All of them were off market.
Yeah.
Yeah, until last year, a year from now, or even less than this, I think until March 2023, for 2.5 years in Cleveland, I have never bought a property on the market. We always either did our own marketing, pitched some sellers, got some leads online, put them under contract, either bought them or like wholesale them. But there's opportunities everywhere, right? There's opportunities on the market, opportunities on off the market. You just need to look for them.
So you said get your own leads from online. Do you run Facebook ads?
I did, yeah. I did and stop it. It costs too much for me to keep it on. And I think we're in the fact that we're like really into the scaling the long-term business. And we're into like a lot of project where I kind of like took my hands off of it a little bit and just start buying from other people. And this is how I ended up buying from the market as well.
So what's one trick you can, not say trick, but one thing you can do to make sure you keep getting off-market deals coming to you? Just know as many realtors or know as many?
Yeah, definitely put your names out there. I mean, people need to know you, whether you buying commercial or it's residential real estate. Put your name out there. Talk to people. Shake the right hands. Let people know what you do. And network. I mean, the more people you meet, the more deals you're gonna have, right? The most, I think maybe 50% of the transactions that happens generally are not even on the market.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Just a random guess. I don't really know what's the percentage of it, but I mean, from what I see as a real estate investors and what I see from the people around me that invest in real estate, most of the deals that people close are not even listed.
Yeah. All right. So what's your 5-year goal? Like, what's the ultimate goal? How much do you want to have? What's your ultimate goal? Because I know last night we were talking about if you wanted to, in the wintertime, you want to be able to hit the slopes, chase the storms, and you can't really do that. So
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's the goal? Is it just to keep, scaling and getting as much as you can, or is it to eventually get to a number like, all right, I'm good for a while, or what?
So when I first started, I had a goal, and I was like, let me get into 10,000 in rental income, and I'll figure my the rest of the way up there later. So I kind of like bought a couple properties, rented them out, get into this 10,000, and I was like, okay, I hit my first goal. What's next? And then, there's like a sentence in Hebrew that says, with the smell, when you smell those, like actually when you reach those goals and you smell those goals, you became to be more hungry. So I think there's like a spot that you reached that you just wanted to just scale and scale more. And I mean, 5 years from now, I looking to be, I want to say somewhere around the 500 units, but it's not about the number of units. It's more about the revenue, right? It's more about the reason why we're doing all of it in the end of like, so it's more about revenue based game.
Yeah.
So I would say we crossed um, six figures in real time income this year in 2024. So that was a big achievement for me. So I think it's just a step by step for now. The next big goal for me will be to reach into seven figures of rental income on a monthly basis.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's huge.
It is, yeah, it is, and for me, it wasn't even possible, and I wasn't even thinking about it back then. You know, the moment you hit your goal, and then you clear your way into the next goal, and then the next goal, and it's just about hitting those goals, those small little steps toward the goal.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't say I want to get to 7 figures a month when you're having hit 5,000 a month. You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
even back then, when I like bought my first property and I did my second property, but I never thought I would be sitting here and talking about those 7 figures a month. I was like, you should be probably a little bit crazy, but
Yeah. Arrogant. Yeah. Naive.
but I mean,
yeah.
here we are, and then you're meeting the right people around you, and you see those people, and you understand that it's possible.
Yeah. Yeah, it is possible. I mean, the economy, the U.S. economy, and the money that's in the U.S. economy is so large. There's so much happening at all times. So yeah, it is definitely possible. I mean, there's people doing it, obviously.
Oh, 100%. I see it all day. Some friends around here that are doing they're doing business in Cleveland and they do real estate, and they're definitely above it.
Yeah. I might have to rent some Airbnbs from you or rent some of your units to turn into Airbnbs.
Let's do it.
Okay, if you're going to start up an Airbnb, like let's just say magically somebody's giving you $60,000 to go buy a house or a unit to go start an Airbnb. It's your first one, so you can get away with 3% down. What size of a house? Just give me everything. If somebody give you 60 grand, you can get approved for your first time Airbnb in Cleveland. Where are you gonna go? How big is it gonna be? And
I think I will target more traffic areas closer to downtown.
but like what area specific? Like you say, I can get a house in this area. It's gonna be this, and this.
I will definitely do it in Tremont,
Tremont.
either Edgewater,
Okay.
Ohio City, or Lakewood. That will be my
It's all
top
Cleveland
top
right there,
four.
right? It's all
Well,
Cleveland.
I want to go outside of Cleveland.
Well, I'm saying like that's all of like give me one area. Like you can only pick one area. Like this is the
One.
best spot for an Airbnb in all of Cleveland if you got this amount of money.
I would say Edgewater.
Edgewater.
Yeah,
And you can get a house there.
I'll get a house, either a 4-bedroom house, typical 2-bedroom house with a nice backyard and a nice spot. Did the right amenities in. Well, so you're probably gonna get it for what? Somewhere I want to say between $300,000 to $400,000, and then you're gonna end up with about 40 grand to put those furnitures in.
So that's more than enough, right?
What's that?
That's more than enough, right?
They're more than enough. Yeah, 60,000 is more than enough to start with an Airbnb, especially for your first one.
Yeah. I asked somebody that, and they said that they were spending like 40 grand, 50 grand on furniture. I was like, I don't know. I don't know where you're buying stuff at.
Yeah, no, I mean, 40 grand on furniture is way too much, especially for your first Airbnb, right? You got to make sure that, well, the problems will come, right? The guests will end up breaking this sofa or breaking this table, but people have to understand that even with those problems with Airbnb have an air cover, which is a kind of an Airbnb insurance for guest damage, so they shouldn't be worried about it. But on the other hand, you don't have to put the best things in the Airbnb, but they have to be good furnitures. You don't want to do like cheap one; they're gonna break up. Their costs 500 or 600 from Walmart of um, cheap, I don't know, hot tubs or things like that. You're gonna break up like in a matter of couple of weeks. You gotta, because once you do this, then you run into all the other problems, all those maintenance problems, all those like you have to store all those sofas and you have to rent this warehouse, and then it's just like a snowball that just keep falling and getting bigger.
Yeah, you're making your job harder. So you're saying you got to get quality things, but you shouldn't buy actually furniture. But you definitely shouldn't buy IKEA. You got to buy somewhere in the middle.
I would definitely say it. Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise it'll be good for the first couple of months, but then after that you got to turn it over. Then you got to take the effort to go replace it, and then just make
Well,
sure.
and what if you don't? What if you don't even live in the city that you're doing your Airbnb? Right? You have to hire someone to do it. Then it's gonna cost you some like extra bucks. Then you have to like maybe leave the unit vacant for another day or two. So there's an additional hidden cost around it. So yeah, I will definitely set it up the right way first time. Then trying to you're gonna run into this cost regardless, right? If you're gonna try and cut it short and try to get this like $200 dining table, then that break's gonna break, and then you won't even know about it until the other guests checking in a matter of an hour, and then you have to cancel, either push their check-in, and then here we go, we lost the booking, we lost another night rate.
Yep. You got to fix it.
Yeah,
We got to fix it. I've told owners that. I was like, look, I know this sucks right now that you got to come out of pocket on this, but you have to fix this, because if you don't, you're going to lose money next week. Fix it now. Fix it in the
100%.
moment. Yeah. So to avoid that, buy the quality stuff, but don't buy too expensive stuff on the front end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't go cheap. You can't go cheap, especially now. Everything's just so freaking. Every
you got
unit is so
everything
nice.
online.
Yeah, everything is so nice. Everybody, your competition, you can't go cheap.
100%. And there's a lot of Airbnbs out there, man, and you have to make sure yours is the one that's standing out of the others.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's a good thing, right? Because when you have this competition, you kind of squeeze yourself to be better, and until you don't have this competition, you don't know how much better you can be, and until someone doesn't push you into the corner, you don't really know what will be or how you're gonna perform better than the other listings. So it's a good game. I mean, that's a good fact that we have those opportunities and to have those other listing in the city that's pushing us over and to do better.
No. Well, cool, man. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. I'm glad we got to meet, man.
Absolutely,
We're definitely
man.
going to
My
be friends for
pleasure.
a while. Since this is the biggest podcast in the world, 10 billion people are watching. Where can people find you if they want to invest in you, reach out to you, ask you questions?
Just Anand on Instagram.
Might have to spell that one.
It's ANANSHL on Instagram. You're gonna find me.
Cool. All right, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, man. Have my pleasure.